from the Middle East to London to France to Germany. Did you ever think, even in America, actually, did you ever think people would be so blinded to say we are standing terrorist organization? Can you even fathom that? That blows my mind. Well, it's happening all over. And I'm going to give you two reasons why I think we're seeing so many people support a terrorist organization, go to the streets, even though this terrorist organization would literally massacre and kill some of the people that are supporting them now under their own law. But people are still out there with their signs. So let's talk about two reasons I believe we're seeing this. And I believe we're going to keep on seeing it because of these two reasons. And then we may wrap it up with one major reason at the end. Let's jump into it. Today's video starts right now.
Face to face in this trashy bar. Another glass and I am going.
Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so much for being here today. If you're new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but let us know what you think about this content. When you give us a thumbs up, it does help us stay in the algorithm. And remember, we give a gift away at least once or twice a month to our subscribers for no cost whatsoever. So let's jump into today's topic. We are talking about the protests, and they are going all around the world in a pro-Hamas rallies, pro-terrorist rallies. Now, we're not just talking about the Palestinians. We're not just talking about the Israelis. And there's going to be people on both sides, just like the Russia-Ukraine, just like any other war. There's always good and bad sides, and everybody starts taking each and every side. There's no one ever in the middle, almost. But with this is a little different. We are now seeing pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist rallies. And we're seeing, like, you know, like the LGBT standing up with it, the BLM standing up with it. We're seeing groups of individuals that would normally not make it in these countries stand up. LGBT, there's no Muslim country that accepts that, and they would absolutely take your life under this policy, under their own policies. Feminism, they would take your life under these policies. I mean, so it's funny when you see this, but like I said, I believe there's two reasons people are actually promoting and wanting pro-Hamas movements against Israel. Immigration without assimilation. That's what I'm going to say. Immigration without assimilation. There's nothing wrong with keeping your heritage and learning new things from a new land. There's nothing wrong with keeping your native language, keeping your native religion. I don't believe anybody says you've got to change everything to become a citizen somewhere else. But when we allow illegal immigration, or we allow people to come into our countries, if we call them refugees or we call them immigrants, whatever you want to call them, and they do not assimilate to the culture of the area they're moving in, and they don't say, you know what, we can keep our heritage, we can keep our traditions, however, we are in a new area, we may have to start doing things kind of like them. When we don't see that, and we see those same ties and those same heritages, we see that same way of life not assimilating better, what happens? It's just what's happening right now in Germany, France, especially like London. These areas are overrun with immigration. And I blame a lot of times their presidents and their leaders, because what they did is they let people in thinking it was going to help them overall, and ultimately it's caused more crime, more problems, and you're seeing riots with people who did not assimilate to certain cultures. They may have kept their traditions, but not only did they keep their traditions, they didn't assimilate. So therefore, your values are not their values. Well, I'm not saying that everything that American stands for, I'm supposed to stand for. I'm not saying that. But there should be some core principles on my assimilation with this area. We should speak the native language. We should understand what freedom is, what the flag means. Well, if we allow people to flood our borders, no matter if they're, you know, Latino, no matter if they're from China, no matter if they're from Russia, no matter if they're from the Middle East, they have to accept what we have in America. They have to accept that. What we're seeing now is people are immigrating, and they're going to these countries, and they're saying they're refugees, or they're going for safety, or whatever it is. But bottom line is, they're not assimilating. So now we're seeing places like Dearborn, Michigan, where there's a monster population of Muslims who are not just Muslims because of their religion and their respect. They're actually supporting Hamas. They're actually supporting death to Israel. They're actually not supporting the way of life here in America. Now, there's a lot of things about America culture and traditions that have went haywire. I believe that's one thing about Muslims and certain religions. They hold fast to what they believe. I have to respect that. I believe Christians should be doing better. Christians have become more worldly. That's for a whole nother video. But because we don't close our borders and make sure we know who's coming in, that someone's willing to assimilate to our culture, willing to be a part of whatever area they're coming into, we see massive protests, because they're not protests for a lot of times good things. If you want to have a pro, Palestinian or pro-Israel, protest, that's your own thing, as long as you keep it peaceful. But we're standing up for terrorism. We're standing up for women and children dying. War is terrible. But if we're not careful, we're now supporting that to keep on happening. Do you actually believe that's a right cause? So I believe the first problem is it's immigration, illegal immigration most of the time, and we call them refugees or whatever you want to call them, but it's that immigration without assimilation. If we do not allow people to come into our countries and assimilate and have some respect for the laws that we have some respect for the values that we have, then therefore you're going to see a topsy-turvy situation like you're seeing right now. France comes out and says, okay, we're not going to do this. We're not going to allow pro-Hamas rallies. And there's like thousands of people on the street. Same way with London. And then Germany. Now, even though I do not support Henry Kissinger, he's actually like the main leader, and his protege is Klaus. But he even said Germany is going to face more turmoil because of all the people they let in. So even the man who says global style movement and a warmonger even says, wow, this is way too much. Having more population brought in through immigration and not just by raising them up could cause issues, and that's why I think you're seeing protests. Now, number two, education. No one knows what we should have learned from the past fights, conflicts, and wars. So therefore, we have people pushing these terrorist organizations. Most people don't even remember 9/11, especially these 20-year-olds and 18-year-olds and all these ones in college and high school that are marching on the streets. And all these people who are like the LGBT, who are saying, we're with Hamas, we're with the Palestinians. You crazy people. You need to look up what they believe, because you would not have life in those areas. But it's because they have not done their research. They do not know what they're doing. And a lot of times when we talk about taking sides, we don't know history. So when we don't learn education on a situation, all we do is we are sopped, and we have so much propaganda that we just believe hook, line, and sinker of whatever's being told to us. I sent a video yesterday about how refugees can come here, and they're saying now the U.S. soil could see terrorism. We wouldn't see that if we would protect our borders. We wouldn't see that if we wouldn't allow people in that shouldn't be in, that may be sketch. But no, we've opened our borders up as a sovereign country and allow people to come in. Well, if they're not assimilating and they're starting to keep their same values, their same heritage, and really don't want American values, then why wouldn't they bring in problems? Why would they want to learn more education and how we want better and how we want different cultures and we don't want constant fighting? Who wants to be like the Middle East and just wants constant fighting all the time? All they do is fight. I think of Azerbaijan and Armenia right now. The Armenian people, they're just to have fights. Syria, civil wars. Lebanon, you don't even know who's in charge there with Hezbollah and the leadership. Iraq, Afghanistan. Iran, the people are even pushing against their leadership, but their leadership is too strong. And of course, look at Hamas, look at the Palestinians, look at Israel. No one wants that. So when we allow people to come into our countries and really don't allow them to assimilate, they don't learn the education, they don't see what they could have without all that, then guess what? We're bringing all that here. So that's where you're going to see more protests. You're going to see more problems. You're going to see more conflicts. You're going to see the polarization of one side for the other. We shouldn't have that. We should say, bygones be bygones. We need to focus on the bottom line is America's a free country, or whatever country that is. We can agree on these certain things. We're not there anymore. There's no country agreeing on anything anymore because we're so polarized and immigration's going all crazy. But guess what this does? This plays right in the handbooks of this new agenda that the UN wants and that the WEF wants and that Kissinger's protege wants, Klaus. What did he say? No borders. George Soros. Do you know George Soros? Go back and look at the articles that he wrote about how Israel and America should back Hamas. They should stand with Hamas. Hamas are good people. How he's wanting open borders. How he wants this turmoil to cause all over, to cause pandemonium. All his pushes have been to cause issues for countries. Well, when we see certain people backing these terrorist organizations, it's because they have not assimilated to the culture they're in now, and they're not educated in the situation that they should be educated in. I'm not asking you to follow me on anything I say. These are my opinions. But I'm saying I want you to do the research. I want you to get a common sense approach. You don't have to agree with me, but when you start doing your own research, you're going to realize, oh wait, I may look at something different. But you've done the research to decide to get to that hypothesis. We need to understand that the reason these protests are happening is because we're allowing people to come in our borders that have no idea of what America stands for, what London stands for, what France stands for, what Germany stands for. And then on top of that, we're not educating our individuals, we're not educating our colleges, we're not educating our younger people and the people coming in of why we're free, why we shouldn't support Hamas, why we shouldn't support some of these movements and these conflicts, because it's going to just divide us even more, which is almost exactly what this one world push, this one world government wants, what UN wants. No borders. More chaos, more turmoil allows them to have more power. So be careful. We're seeing protests break out everywhere. And again, Ray said yesterday, there could be terrorists here already that's going to cause problems, and they're going to cause conflicts. It would have never happened if we would have protected our border and allowed people to get educated before they walked into our country to try to get citizenship or refugee status. Did you see that Chicago's fixing to start giving major benefits? It's like thousands of dollars worth of benefits to migrants. They're gonna put them up for free and make you pay for them. Come on. We are not allowing them to come in the right way. So they're illegally coming in and they're gonna cause more problems. I don't care who they are. If someone's illegally coming into our country, do you honestly believe they're here for the right reasons? No. So we're gonna see more protests. We may even see things on our own soil. We may see more and more things happen because we're allowing immigration to go without assimilation, and we're allowing a non-educated view of the world, from our own kids to the people coming in. Give me your thoughts. Thank you again for watching. This is just my heart. I believe that if we would learn to educate our children, we would learn to educate our schools, we would learn to make sure that we're not indoctrinating our kids, but they're learning history, the value of understanding who and what world powers are, not to be propagandized or to be psyoped and believing anything that we hear. We got to gain wisdom. And then again, we got to close borders, and we cannot allow people just to rush in our country just for the heck of it. Pay attention to what's going around you. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.